Okay, so today I'm going to fix a concealed thermostatic valve which has a washer that needs to be replaced because it's dripping. First stage is we're going to take the two little caps off, here and one here. So first thing we have to do is get these screws undone, these bolts, and they're flush. So I've used some various vice grips to grip. So these little screws, bolts, are a nightmare. Because after nearly 20 years of being on, they don't want to come off easily. And it's almost impossible to get them off without actually scratching a little bit of the chrome. Right, so I've managed to get it so it's finger tight on now. Might need to buy a replacement head for it. Make sure you've got the plug in, because if you drop any of this you don't want it going down the drain. There we go. So that's the first screw. There's another one just underneath on the underside. There we go, that's both of them. So it looks like that. Okay, the next thing we want to do is to actually get these controls off. So I've got my Allen key here, or hex key, and there's a little grub screw just on the base. So you might have to get a little bit of the scale out before it will go in right. But once you've loosened it up, you should only have to undo it most of the way before it comes off. So next thing we'll do is take the control off at the top. This is the output control and the water valve on and off. So again, loosen about halfway and you can... Right, the next thing we need to remove are these two control parts. They're coming off with a Phillips head number 2. There's the first one. This one's got quite a long thread. There's the second one. This one I believe just pulls out. Then these unscrew. You might need a strap wrench to get this out easily, but I'll give that a go and see if I can get it out just without using one. No, it's very scaled up. Might need a strap wrench for that. So we'll take these off. So we'll unscrew these with a flat head. These have gone on very tight, so I might actually put a little bit of grease when I put these back on, just in case I need to take them off again. That'll be a bit easier. Still quite tight. The bottom one feels less tight. I think I put some silicone around these, so the silicone might have acted as a little bit of a, well, produced a bit of resistance for unscrewing. So I've got the two retaining screws out, and the next job will be to actually cut around the silicone that is behind the faceplate, keeping it somewhat water resistant. So even though this was done 17 years ago, I think, I remember there's quite a bit of silicone behind this, so this is going to be a multi-stage process of cutting through it. Before you take the cartridge out, you'll need to turn the water off. So my shower actually has two screws, here and here, hot and cold. And you can turn those clockwise to the right to isolate it. Once you've isolated it, you might want to put connectors back on the flow control up here, and then turn it, and then change the setting on this so you're going from hot to cold. And keep that open, see if any water comes out. If you've screwed both of these in and all the way and water's still coming out, then find your stopcock, turn water off that way. You'll need to turn the hot water off as well if it's gravity driven. But yeah, make sure no water's coming out before you take this off, otherwise you could have water going down in between if you've got a cavity there, which won't be good. To get it off, so to actually get this one off, I've used calipers. That's why I've drilled these holes, to get the calipers in there to measure what sort of socket I needed. So if you can find a box spanner that's the right size, that'll do it. But in my case, I got a big socket. So that socket needs to go in there. I wouldn't recommend connecting this to an impact wrench to take it off, but what you can do is put a screwdriver through that hole there and then start turning. Right, so I'm not going to be able to film taking this out and holding it at the same time. My camera assistant isn't able to help, so I'm going to do it off camera, but you get the idea. You put the socket in, it grabs onto that 6-point cartridge, and turning it anti-clockwise gets it out, basically. So I've just taken apart the shower flow and diverter cartridge, and these are its constituent parts. This part has this O-ring that goes around here. This part has a silicone set of washers that are all interconnected. There's about 6 there. These are the 2 discs. They fit together like that. There's the housing. There's another smaller silicone disc. And there's this spline and connector, and it has an O-ring just here in the middle, which I've just replaced and re-greased with silicone lubricant. I'm now about to put it all back together again and put it back in the shower to see if that's fixed the problem. Right, so that's it all back together and greased with silicone lubricant, as you can see. And you can test that's working if you look through the front and then turn this part.
Motion detected.
And I'm not sure I'm going to be able to show you this with one hand, but if I turn, this is terrible. If I turn No, it's not going to be able to see. Basically, if I turn this part, you can see the little ceramic discs turning. I'm going to do it without being able to show you, but that's open now, and that's it closed. And then when this part is turned, you can see the holes changing as it diverts water to different places. And diverter controls back on, and the temperature control. That's the temperature control fitted, and now the diverter and flow control needs to be refitted. And that's the shower put back together. Nice bead of silicone there. Probably needs a bit of shining up, but the leak that it had originally has been fixed by just servicing the cartridge, and that's it.